Hey friends, thanks so much for joining me today. So in today's card tutorial, we're going to be making this adorable card, and it's so simple. I can't wait to show you how to make it. And we're just using scrap pieces of designer series paper and cardstock. How cool is that? And I'm not even using a stamp set. I'm going to use a couple of dies though, and the dies come from the paper pumpkin kits. You have to be a subscriber to get those, but I think that they're so worth it. At $12, I mean, it's a steal. But you do need to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. So if you're interested in that, please click on the link that's in the description below the video and start your subscription today. So, as I mentioned, we are using only cardstock and DSP. And just to prove to you what I'm talking about is, so this is the new 2025-2027 in colors, and I had so many of these strips in here because I cut them down. Actually, it was a boo-boo. So I cut way too many of them for my little bookmarks that I gave to my customers as a thank you. I made these cute little bookmarks, which you may have seen in my shorts, and I cut way too many of them. So, because obviously I can't add, and I was probably doing it at night when I can't add. And then this is the Floral Delight DSP. Again, I just grabbed some scraps from here and I cut them down to size. So basically what you need is your DSP. You're going to need, I think, about 5 pieces. And on this card that I made originally, my DSP is 1 inch wide by 6 inch long. But on my the one that we're going to do today, they're actually 3/4 of an inch by, well, they're varying lengths. Because like I said, they were just scraps that I grabbed. So I've got those there. Then I have a piece of old olive, which is 4 by 5 1/4. The card base I'm using is Lemon Lolly, and that's your basic card base. But like I said, we're going to be doing this in the landscape, or maybe I didn't say that. So we're going to be making this in the landscape mode. This one I did portrait, so either way works. And I also have a piece of copy paper, just scrap copy paper, which I'm going to need to adhere those strips onto, and then we'll trim those down to size. I apologize for my voice, but allergies are just awful, just awful. Then I have a piece of basic white, which again is just a scrap piece, but I'm going to use that for the inside of the card. So we'll just set this aside. You don't need that. And we're going to need this piece though. So let me see. So this is the dies that I'm talking about. It's called Hugs a Bloom dies. And let me pull these out of here so we can see them. And I've got a piece of old olive scrap, if I can grab it. Old olive scrap, and also a piece of lemon lolly scrap. So I'm going to be cutting the word hugs out of the old olive, and then the pretty flower from the lemon lolly. Now, I'm also using my foam adhesive sheets, which I don't use very much, but I thought, oh, that would be kind of cool. Instead of, you know, messing around with trying to put dimensionals on the back of the hugs, I thought I'll just cut a piece down of the foam adhesive sheets and use that instead. So while I have that out, I'm going to cut it. I don't have my good scissors in here, though. These seem to be like, oh, okay, they're doing pretty good, though. I usually use these scissors for sticky things like this, so I guess that'll work. Yeah, so I just cut a piece that is about the size of my scrap. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere that to that, and then we're going to die cut this. So you know what, while we have this in hand, let's do that right now and get it out of the way so we can move on to the fun stuff, right? So I hope everybody's doing well. As I said, my allergies have been just off the charts, and I've just been miserable. Just miserable with these allergies this year. I don't remember them ever being this bad, so I don't know what's out there. I don't know if it's because, I don't know. People think I'm wrong, but I feel like we didn't have as much snow as we usually get. But others are saying, no, you had a lot of snow in New York. I don't know what you're talking about, so I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to peel the this back, and I'm going to adhere the old olive piece on top. I'll just put that right there. And I do have a little sticky spot there, so I'm just going to take a little corner here so it doesn't get stuck in my die cutting machine. Put that right there. Okay, I'll throw that out. Okay, so this is going to be probably a little tight. Actually, this piece moved on me. So when I send it through, it's going to be a little tight. Where's my flour? I'm going to do that at the same time. This I'm doing. So we're going to try this. I don't know how well this is going to work. As I said, it's very tight because it's thick. It might compress it somewhat, but it is thick. So let's do that. And then we're going to put this one here, and we'll see what happens. Oops, I see that moved on me. Okay. Oh, it went through pretty good. But you know what, though? I might have to bring it back and forth a couple of times because I don't know if it's going to cut all the way through. But let's see what we got. Moving it too much. It did stick to my plate. It looks like it cut through. But I think I'm going to take off the flour and I'm just going to cut this a little bit more. And this flour is also part of the Hugs a Bloom dies. Isn't that pretty? I just love the detail on that. Okay, so let's set this aside so we don't lose it. And I'm just going to send this through one more time, just to be on the safe side. Make sure that it does cut all the way through. I think that should do it. All right, let's see how we did. Let's see how we did. Now, for the most part, it cut through. I think it cut through all the way. I think we can take the die off. It'll just work its way out of here. I think it's fine. Okay, I'm going to leave this until I need it because I don't want to remove the backing yet. So we're going to put that in here. All right, so let's start putting the strips down onto our piece of copy paper. Let me just cut this down. So my copy paper, I want it to be 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And you won't see this piece because the strips are going to be on top of it. And it's not bigger. It's smaller than the actual layer, the old olive layer. All right, so we're going to do this in the horizontal or landscape mode. So you want to just start taking your strips and put them right up. I'm going to zoom in just a tad. So we're going to put them so that they come right to the top of that copy paper. And you want to put them on an angle. And you might have to play with it a little to see what fits best. I think I moved that. And what I like to do before I adhere these is I like to line them up, make sure I like the way they look, and then I add adhesive to the copy paper, and I cover the copy paper entirely with adhesive, and then I put the strips on it. And then what I do is I trim it down, and you can either use your trimmer or your snips to cut it down. So we're just going along. Now I am using, I have Secret Sea, Cloud Cover, and Darling Duckling as my cardstock pieces for the strips. And then these are the Designer Series paper, is the Floral Delight pieces. So, and I realize that while I'm doing this now, I don't have to be so precise, but I want to make sure that I get them so I know that they're going to fit. I did want to finish with a piece of cardstock, so I might have to move these a little. And that's why I'm saying you might have to just play around with it a little, just so you get them right. So anyway, I'm going to do that. You see what I'm talking about? And then I will be right back with this all nice and pretty for you. So I just wanted to briefly show you how I'm adhering. I'm putting some tape on the back, some adhesive on the back, and I am covering my surface with my silicone craft mat so that I don't get any glue on here. So basically I'm just going across with my adhesive. I'm going all the way across, and I'm getting it covered like, you know, all the way down. I'm not skipping any parts. I'm even overlapping just a bit. So you just want to keep doing that all the way down. Now this is copy paper, so I'm trying to be a little gentle because I'm using my Seal Plus, which is very sticky. So, and I just have it all the way down there. Then I'm just going to fold this part over like so onto itself, just so it's not sticking out on the edges there, here, and here. I'm so used to working with the liquid glue that I kind of forget how sticky this tape is as well. Plus this is the Seal Plus, which I have to say I don't really care for the regular Stampin' Seal. I just find it very difficult to work with, but the Seal Plus works much better. So that's my stick. Anyway, so I've got that done, and I'm going to start putting these pieces down. So I'm just going to take my first strip, and I want to cover up that point. So I'm going to go right to the edge, like so. Press that down. And I think I had this piece next. And I'm butting it right up against the edge of the last piece I put down. So right like that. And we're going to go with the cloud cover piece, again, right up against the edge of the other piece here, because I don't want to leave any gaps. So, and so, whoops. That kind of buckled up on me there. Okay, let me have this piece here. Got this piece. And I think I angled them differently, so I may need more pieces. Let's see what we got here. Definitely need more pieces, but I think we can make it work. That. Now I do have a little piece here hanging out. You can see the white there. So I'm going to trim this down, and then we'll adhere that. So let's make sure that's nice and taped down. And then I'm just going to take my snips, and I'm going to go along the edge and just cut off the excess. You could also use your paper trimmer for this part, and I might use it once I just get it so that it's square enough, if that makes sense, so that I have a flat edge to go on my trimmer. Then I'll probably do that. And let's go this way, I think. It's always hard when you're trying to get that last little strip there. So now I can use my trimmer to get the rest because I have a nice flat edge. So 3 3/4, right about there. So we're just going to trim all the way down, and then 5 inches. Let's look at this. I don't know why that happened. I think I need a new blade is what the problem is. I might trim this just a little bit more, just a hair more than 3 3/4. Go right about there. and then 5 inches. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to cover this little piece up with a piece of DSP. I think this should do it right there. Oops, can't see it. Just get this piece here. All right, we need to get our take your pick tool. Okay, so we have something to use to adhere it down there. Okay, so that's good. And we'll just trim the excess on that as well. Okay, and there you have it. Pretty cool, isn't it? I think it's so cool. You can do so many different things with it. So let me clean up my mess here, because I don't think I'll be using these pieces again. Well, I might use, see, like these pieces are still big enough, so I'll use these, because I could use them for another card. But those other ones are just really too small. Too small, too small, too small. So we'll just clean that up. All right, so now we're going to adhere this piece. You know, let's just use this since I have it out. Now, it's working just fine, and then this is what happens. Right, so let's put this down on our old olive. Just center that. I have to be pretty precise because I don't have liquid glue on here. All right, so that's that. And then we're going to adhere that onto here, and I'm going to go back to using my liquid glue because it's just easier for me. All right, that's done. Okay, so let's put our hugs on here. I'm going to try to be very careful so I don't rip it. Okay, so we got that out. Let's poke out the G and the S, those little pieces out of here. I will say, as cool as this is, it's not the easiest thing to work with. So, at least not with detailed dies. I bet it's probably really good for non-detailed dies, but for these detailed dies, it's a bit of a pickle to take out these pieces. But we're getting there. Okay. Okay. I think we're good now. Just want to trim the like a little piece of paper stuck in between here, giving me a problem. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so let's put this right here onto that side a little bit, like so. And then we'll put our little flower. Should I put this here or here? We'll just put it right here on a dimensional. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to cut a piece from here since it's here. Oh, that's too big. Okay, so we're just going to put this piece right in the center there. So. All right, let me clean up some of this mess here. Let's see. And we are going to use our ribbon adhesive back dots in pecan pie and clear. I think I'm just going to take a couple of clear ones. So you can put one right in the center of the flower. And then we're just going to put, these are, I didn't realize that they have big ones down here. So we'll put a couple of big ones. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a big one here. And these are nice because they're relatively flat, which makes for easy mailing. We all love that because prices of postage has really gone up lately, quite a bit. And for us card makers, that's no fun. All right, and then we'll put one right here, maybe. Like so, okay. All right. All right, let's put our cardstock piece, the white, basic white on the inside, which I'm going to do, and that we're going to cut it down 4 inches by 5 1/4. So we're going to go 4 inches and then 5 1/4. And then we'll put this on the inside of our card base. Okay. Now, I don't know what I'm stamping on the inside yet. So we're just going to leave that blank for now. Okay. All right. So, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue along the edge because I found that sometimes when I put glue on the center part of my card, I get little bumpy things when I'm writing. That if you just put it on the edge, then you don't have to worry about those bumps getting in the way of your writing. All right, so that's that. We've got our pretty embellishments already, and our card is done. How pretty is that? I'd love to know your thoughts. Please let me know in the comments if you've enjoyed this video. And like I said, look at those strips and those scraps of paper, the DSP cardstock that you have laying around. I'm sure you have lots like me, and you can make a beautiful card just like these. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Friends, thanks again for watching, liking, commenting, and sharing my video with your other crafty friends. Until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.